Let's start with what is business credit, because you guys, what you likely believe is business credit, thank you for playing. It is not. So there are three main categories of business credit, you guys.
Welcome to the Jennifer J. Hammond Podcast. Jennifer is a licensed realtor, educator, speaker, and best-selling author. Jennifer's goal is to help you find your yay in every day.
I think we are now live. Yay!
Hey, everybody.
The Merrill and Jennifer show. Yay!
Yay! Glad to see you guys back here. Yeah, it's been a minute with all of the holidays, with all of the illnesses, the traveling, the moving. I'm so glad to be back with you, Jennifer.
Oh my gosh, it's so good to have you back. And it's funny because there's some great ones. We did that moving checklist. If you're moving, make sure you don't destroy your credit. That was a fantastic one. We've done some really good ones, but we're not going to be on next week, but then we'll be on 3 weeks after. And so we're going to do a 4-week series, just that little hiccup. Next Wednesday, we won't be on, but we're going to do a 4-week series on business credit. And so this is a big, huge category.
Yeah,
and we don't want to say
reporting, how the system works and how the different instruments work and how you can get those credit instruments, business credit instruments.
And so part of that I want to do is I want to start a little bit with definitions because, it's funny because I love, even after all these years that you and I have worked together, I still sometimes say the wrong words and I love it. Even working with your team, they all laugh at me and they go, okay, Merrill is over on, in a stitch laughing because he can't believe you just asked about a FICO score versus a FICO score and like things that you should just know as the basics. And if you don't know what that is, go back and listen to some of the other things. If you don't know what a fake score is, hello, Credit Karma.
Hello, Credit Karma.
The people who sell you junk scores. So we say.
Oh yeah, and most credit monitoring services, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So much, man. And by the way, we do. So we spent the last period of time broadcasting to my tribe and then sharing it with yours, Jennifer. Now we're broadcasting live to your tribe and then sharing it with ours. So it's your turn, Jennifer Hammond tribe. Because we couldn't do both, weirdly enough. Thank you at Facebook. But we're so excited now to be live in front of your tribe so that they can literally go back, just scroll up your socials and be like, boom, there's that one, there's that one, there's that one, et cetera.
And I love the fact that, again, doing like a series like this, if you end up catching this on the second time or whatnot, you can go back and look at and we'll refer to it. So, because it's so much, and we try to make these, 10, 15 minutes. We try to make them short, but there's so much information here. And, but let's go ahead. So this business one I wanted to talk about foreign nationals, also referred to affectionately as resident aliens, and people who are starting in the country, but also people who are just starting they want to get their business credit. And of course, that means business credit cards, business lines of credit. I mean, so let's define this for people and people who are, I want to say, brand new, almost infants, children in the whole business credit world.
Let's start with what is business credit, because you guys, what you likely believe is business credit, thank you for playing. It is not. So there are three main categories of business credit, you guys. Three main categories. The first one is what is called trade and retail credit. Trade and retail. Now, sometimes some of you have said somebody will sell you, hey, build your business credit. And that's one of the big landmines we want to remind you about is if somebody says, build your business credit, they're trying to sell you something you don't need. I promise. Now, you may not have seen the dozens and dozens of presentations, but I'm telling you right now, if somebody is selling you something to build your business credit, it's likely that you go get trade lines, vendor accounts, or retail accounts like Uline, Granger, Staples, and because they're telling you something you don't need. Let me put it this way. We'll probably be discussing next week kind of how the credit reporting system works for businesses. But what you need to know right now is that you don't need to build business credit. You need to get the right kind of business credit, know how to qualify for it, because the credit reporting system handles itself. Think of it. You go get a credit card from Chase. Do you need to tell Chase to report that to your credit profile? No, it happens on its own. You don't need to build your personal credit. You just need to know which are the right credit instruments to get, the credit products to get. Same with business credit. So first level, and sometimes they're called trade lines, retail accounts and vendor trade lines and net 30. Sometimes they're called net 30s.
And so let's talk about that. Give somebody an example. So like a lot of real estate investors are looking at like Home Depot. They're going to get a Home Depot, or they're looking at an Amazon business credit. So let's talk about, are those, sure. Let's talk about what does that mean? How does that help or not help?
So the first thing is that in this section called trade lines or vendor credit, right? Suppliers credit, what they're trying to do is build you a Dun & Bradstreet score. Now, between you and I, Chase, Chase uses Dun & Bradstreet, that score, to approve you for a $100,000 business line of credit, because Dun & Bradstreet is measuring how you treat vendor credit, a Staples commercial card or a Home Depot commercial card. Do you think Chase is going to give you a $50,000 or $100,000 business loan based on your Home Depot reputation? No, it's never happened and it will never happen. But the people who are trying to sell you that you need to build your Dun & Bradstreet score are selling you something you don't need. So now, do we believe, especially for real estate investors, do we believe in having a $200,000 account on your business for Home Depot or Lowe's? Yes, we do. But just remember, if you're looking for a business loan or a business line of credit, they're not looking at each other. So we have to build the right kind of credit. And so that's trade credit. The second type of business credit is what we call commercial credit. And commercial credit requires 100% of the time, it's full doc. They're going to pull your personal credit profile. Most of them you're not personally guaranteeing it, but it's higher interest rates. And it is, and if you get one like the Cabbages and the SoFis and those types of fintech companies, they're going to want access to your books, your QuickBooks or your accounting software, right. And they're going to deduct out of your cash flow weekly payments. Some even do a daily payments, and it can be 16, 24, 36% interest or higher. Those are commercial loans. Now there's commercial real estate loans, or there's the commercial divisions of your banks. Chase, Wells Fargo, B of A, Citibank have commercial divisions. It's all full doc, but that's the second level. Now, the level we love is called small business credit. And small business credit are business credit cards, right? Business loans and business lines of credit, most of them up to $100,000, right? Whereas a commercial loan can be $2 million if you have the full doc and the paperwork and the tax returns to support it. What we're working on is that third level. We love the third level because if you have a relationship with 2 or 3 banks at $100,000 each, that's a pretty good chunk for many of us to use in fixing and flipping or being able to capitalize our businesses or grow, et cetera, right? Cover payroll in cash flow situations, et cetera. So those are the 3 areas. Most people, that when you hear build business credit, they're talking about the first low grade, non-applicable Commercial credit doesn't look at your Dun & Bradstreet scores, you guys. And I know for certain that business lines of credit and business loans do not look at trade lines and Uline accounts and Granger accounts and your Home Depot credit card, even if it is $200,000, because as we'll talk about next week or 2 weeks from now, there are huge gaps. There are different reporting agencies. Think of it this way, just like there is Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, but they all report the same stuff.
Right.
Business credit they report by category. So you have Tradeline, Dun & Bradstreet does Tradeline reporting. Then you have the CFN, the Commercial Financial Network, hosted by Experian. They do business lines of credit, business loans, and business credit cards. And then you have commercial reporters. So the type of account you have drives who's reporting it. That's not true in the personal world. All three bureaus report all accounts. So because they're different and we've not been taught this, there are shady operators out there trying to convince you to build your business credit. If you go get a Chase, I use Chase all the time, but if you get a Chase Inc. card, business card, first of all, true business credit doesn't report to your personal profile. If it does, like Smart Cards, Discover It cards, they say they're business, but they report to your personal profile. So every time you use it, it changes the dynamics of your utilization and crushes the soul of your personal profile when it's supposed to be business. No, thank you for playing. So we have to choose the right instrument, and the right instruments report to the correct bureaus, and the correct bureaus then feed back our reporting capabilities and our borrower behaviors, and it's all solid.
And so let's start again, as we were talking about the defining. So we're defining business credit because, again, this is so different than your personal credit. However, I wanted you to talk just a little bit, because somebody who only watches this video and hasn't watched all the other many times that we've had this conversation, I don't know how many times we've had it, but talk about how your personal does lay the golden egg, so to speak. It is so important. The personal, especially as we're talking about a foreign national, a resident alien, someone who is new to the country,
just starting out.
Somebody who's just starting out and they've never established any kind of business lines of credit. How does that relate? How, defining business lines of credit, how does it relate to your personal?
All right, perfect. So we have a deep and abiding relationship with FICO, who basically builds the 3-digit credit score that evaluates your risk.
You mean meaning you and me personally, right?
Yes. Yeah. In fact,
we've been to FICO World.
In May, Jennifer joined me at FICO World, and I got to introduce her to David Smith and to Glenn Grossman and the team down there that we collaborate with, right? So she can attest to that we got game here at Get Fundable.
I want to say we have the insider secrets, but sometimes that could be taken the wrong way. But we have inside track that most people don't. And that's why this information is so important, including defining the differences. Your personal credit, as you just described, reports to those 3 bureaus that everybody's kind of talked about. And again, there's a lot of, we love doing the myth busting about that, but there's a lot of myth busting on the business lines of credit too. And that's why I say, let's start with they are connected. They do want to know you're a real person, especially as a foreign national coming here. They want to make sure it's not fraud, it's not money laundering. So they are connected.
Yep. So
you can't be terrible as a personal credit.
Cautionary tale. So a woman heard one of my presentations at a real estate investors conference, and she came up afterwards. She goes, "Merrill, I love what you're talking about. So my personal credit sucks. So I want to build business credit." And I'm like, "Oh, sweetheart. You cannot separate your personal credit from your business credit when it comes, because they're not, lenders do not track. Here's one of the fundamentals, kind of the big domino, right? That you got to understand. Lenders do not look at your credit score until after they've measured your 40 borrower behaviors. They'll use those borrower behaviors to approve or deny you. Then they use the score to see how much money they want to give you and what rate to charge you. So everybody puts the cart before the horse. I have an 820. Well, you can have a false high 820 because where's the $200,000 in business credit and credit lines and loans that you deserve, right? So number one is it's borrower behaviors. So what do? They measure those borrower behaviors from your personal credit profile and then fund the business with the money that you qualified for. Does that make sense? They look at your personal profile and they're going like, this is an amazing borrower. So let's dump some cash into the business owned by this amazing borrower. That's what we call small business credit. And so there is no separation. Some people can get these, what you're being sold when you say build business credit, build a Dun & Bradstreet, is people will say, oh yeah, if you build this Dun & Bradstreet number, you can get credit lines. But the credit lines they're talking about are these retail accounts. There's cleaning supplies, that Granger and Uline and these types of things. Some, if you push hard enough, you can get fleet financing from an auto dealer. So there are people out there who get 2 or 3 cars they put into Turo, rent the cars, but they qualified on the business side, so they don't report on your personal. There's great strategies there, but what I know is that you want some of those credit lines, you want some of those auto loans on your personal profile to bolster the power and influence of your personal profile, since that's what everybody's looking at. And then once you've proven to the fleet financing company that you know how to pay them personally, then you can get business, what's called a floor line or a fleet financing for 2 or 3 more cars. So, but you don't need a Dun & Bradstreet number to do that if you know what you're doing.
I was going to say, and that's really important. I want to go into the Dun & Bradstreet stuff, but of course we don't have time today. And the other thing I was just going to say, just for trending, if you're listening and you're curious, one of the things I found very interesting, I was in 3 banks today locked in and sat down with their business manager, and one was a vice president. And I thought one of the interesting trends right now is they want to give, they're just dying to give money away for anything that is vehicles or equipment for your business. Now, the lines of credit are still almost at the same rate as a hard money lender, which means it's just a higher interest rate. And I was kind of laughing at the differences because, again, it seems like there's a trend with the banks. Okay, let's give this money away versus let's this one we're going to charge a lot of money for. So understanding those trends, but having the business credit. So again, people are loving on you because they think you are going to be, then they're just constantly keeping you updated on what can we do for you now? How can we throw more money at you?
And that's the way it becomes. Yeah. Once they see that you're a what we call a bullseye borrower, right? You hit the funding guideline bullseye every single time. Once you are their perfect or ideal customer, they're going to unload money on you because you're the most trustworthy of all the borrowers, right? We want you to become the ideal customer.
Exactly. So we're going to continue this over the next couple of weeks. Next week, like I said, is travel week. So it'll be after that. We'll be back on July 20th and July 27th, but we're going to do this for 4 weeks. So we'll continue on business credit, and we're going to keep defining it and going through some of, I still want to call them the secrets that you need to know, because what you've been told, unfortunately, have there been some lies, but there's also just misinformation out there.
Misinformation. Yeah. So I put on my thing there, Jennifer, I renamed myself. If you want to know more about this, go to getfundablejennifer.com, getfundablejennifer. You're literally going to be able to just read the reviews. The reviews. We have a course that you can take that is going to blow your mind, start to finish, A to Z. Just go check it out, but watch that course. Subscribe to that course. You will get a PhD in personal and business credit and how to leverage that. Now, here's some good news for you. Over the next 30 to 45 days, Jennifer, we're actually going to be adding to everybody who has subscribed to the master course, the software to implement all of it, right? So that we know that's been coming for a minute. So even if you get it today, everybody who has registered for the course will get the software to implement everything to make their personal profile fundable and their business profile fundable. So go to getfundablejennifer.com. Guys, it really is. It's a
game changer. It really is.
Just read the reviews. Don't believe me. Don't even believe your favorite person in the universe, Jennifer. Just read the reviews because it will change your entire financial life. Promise.
It's amazing. I love hearing all those stories, amazing testimonials. So get fundable, Jennifer, getfundablejennifer.com. Go there and you can find out more. And again, we'll be back in 2 weeks. I want everybody to have a yay. So we do the yay as we go off air. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, have a great day.
Hi, I'm Jack Canfield. You may know me as the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. And if you want more help in getting from where you are to where you want to be, I want to encourage you to listen to the Jennifer Hammond Show.